When you think of the United States of America, what comes to mind? I mean, for most people, it's wealth, right? It's known as the richest country in the history of the world, a place of just immense opportunity. But, that's really only one side of the coin. Because in the shadows of all that wealth, a completely different reality exists for millions and millions of people. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and look at the 5 poorest states in America. And I have to warn you, the numbers, they're truly shocking.
Okay, so let's start with a number that is, well, it's almost impossible to really wrap your head around it. $28 trillion. That is the massive size of the U.S. economy. It's a figure that represents just incredible national power and resources, so try to keep that number in your mind as we go.
Now, I want you to contrast the 28 trillion with this number, 37 million. That is how many Americans are considered food insecure. So what does that mean? It means that in the wealthiest country on the entire planet, 37 million men, women, and children have no idea where their next meal is coming from.
And here's the thing that's so crucial to understand. This hardship, it's not distributed equally across the country. Not at all. It's actually concentrated in very specific regions, creating these vastly different economic realities from one state to the next. I mean, just look at this gap. It is staggering. On one end, you've got a state like Maryland with a median household income of almost $100,000 a year. On the other end of the spectrum, Mississippi, where the median household earns less than half of that. It's the same country, but these are two completely different worlds. So with that, let's begin our countdown.
Kicking off our list at number 5 is New Mexico. And while the state is, of course, known for its absolutely stunning landscapes, it's also facing a really profound economic crisis, and it's one that hits its youngest and most vulnerable residents the hardest.
So, the overall poverty rate in New Mexico is sitting at 18.2%. Now, to put that in perspective for you, that means nearly 1 out of every 5 people in the entire state is living below the official poverty line.
But honestly, the story gets even darker when we focus on the children. Almost 20%. That's nearly 1 in 5 kids in New Mexico are living in poverty. We're not talking about adults here. We're talking about children who are starting their lives at a massive, massive disadvantage.
Moving on to our number 4 state, Kentucky, we start to see how the consequences of poverty go way beyond just money. Here, the cost isn't just measured in dollars. It's actually measured in years of life.
3.3. That's how many fewer years a person born in Kentucky is expected to live compared to the national average. Think about that. It's a direct, measurable human cost, where your zip code can literally shorten your lifespan.
So you have to ask, why? Well, so often it comes down to this vicious multi-generational cycle. It all starts with education, or really a lack of it. 23% of adults in Kentucky don't even have a high school diploma, and that, of course, leads to fewer job opportunities, which means no stable income, and it traps families in this cycle of poverty that just keeps going generation after generation.
Coming in at number 3, we have West Virginia, a state whose story is, well, it's one of a dramatic fall from grace. It's like a forgotten economic powerhouse.
It's actually hard to imagine now. But if you go back to the 1950s, West Virginia was a rich state powered by a booming coal industry. It was a symbol of American industrial might. But when that industry died, all the prosperity just vanished. And it really feels like the rest of the country just turned its back.
So today, the reality is pretty grim. Only about 23% of the population has a college degree. That's the second lowest rate in the entire nation. And that life expectancy number? 74.5 years. Also the second lowest in America. It's a state that's just haunted by the ghost of its prosperous past. All right, at number 2, we find Louisiana. This is a state where these high poverty rates are dangerously and directly linked to a crisis of violent crime and public safety.
Just think about this for a second. The child poverty rate in Louisiana is 26.8%. That means if you picture an average classroom, more than 1 out of every 4 children in that room is growing up in poverty.
And this is where poverty takes its most brutal toll. The murder rate in Louisiana is 3 times the national average. It's just a harsh reminder that poverty isn't just about a lack of money. It's about a lack of safety, a lack of security, and for too many, a lack of a future.
And now we've arrived at number 1, the poorest state in America. And this isn't a new thing. This state has held this unfortunate title for over 30 years. It's a story of systemic, generational struggle.
Before I even say the name, just listen to this.
This one single state holds 4 of the most devastating records in the entire country. It has the absolute lowest median income, the highest rate of child poverty, the highest obesity rate, and the very lowest life expectancy in the entire United States.
One state. All 4 of those grim distinctions.
That state is Mississippi.
The numbers, they really just speak for themselves. An 18.8% poverty rate, a median income under $45,000, nearly 1 in 3 children living in poverty, and the lowest life expectancy in the entire nation. You know, to be at the bottom for over 3 decades, that isn't just bad luck. It is a clear sign of a system that has fundamentally failed its people.
So as we wrap this up, let's go back to that number from the very beginning, 37 million. It's so easy to get lost in all the data, the charts, the percentages, but it is so vital to remember that behind every single one of those numbers is a human being. 37 million individual stories, struggles, and lives.
This is the reality of poverty in the world's wealthiest nation. So the question I really want to leave you with is this. Did any of these numbers surprise you? And what does it say about a country when such deep poverty can exist right alongside such incredible, unbelievable wealth?